Hello, 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 and welcome back to another YouTube and Facebook Live with yours truly, Prandhara Prem. And I am so excited to have Dr. LaVonne Shaw on here. She is also known as the Erogenous Coach. Dr. LaVonne Shaw is a best-selling author, professional coach, transformational speaker. I love her energy, and marriage and relationship counselor. She has certifications in sexual wellness, the power of passion, sex education, and dominatrix. What? We gonna have to talk a little bit about that because
Anything
you know
you want.
I'm a little dom myself. So, um, Dr. Shaw brings decades of research, training, and education to singles and couples desiring a healthy and passionate intimacy life. In 2008, she was awarded an honorary doctorate in divinity from the Life Church in Modesto, California. Now, what started as a wedding consulting and catering business turned into something steamy. It turned into counseling and education for couples desiring more romance and passion in their marriages. In other words, in their bedroom. Word of mouth and many speaking engagements later, Dr. Shaw published her first book with the love and support of her late husband, Michael, Sex Between Our Sheets, What God Allows. And that was released in 2010 and opened more doors for conferences and seminars as only Dr. Shaw can present. The Erogenous Coach created a safe space for couples and women to share their challenges and issues in the bedroom. She uses her transparency, personal experiences, and biblical knowledge to reach and teach her audiences. I know the excitement of being in love and having breathtaking intimacy with passion. She also knows how it feels to be rejected by someone she loves unconditionally. So in 2019, Dr. Shaw hosted the first annual Sex on the Beach conference in Clearwater, Florida. Let me know when you do another one because I am trying to be there. Sex on the Beach. Um, she was also on the Dr. Oz show. She was born in Panama and raised in Washington, D.C. She uses her God given gift to share her life journey in pursuit of love, healthy intimacy, and passion around the world. This is why I love her so much. So, if you guys have been following me, you know that my mission is to get rid of the shame and the guilt, all of that stuff around sexuality. So that's why I have these lives. I have these lives every Wednesday so that people can come on, feel comfortable. I want to create that safe space as well as to have you be able to ask questions that you don't feel comfortable asking someplace else. So this is why we're here. This is why I do what I do. So, welcome, Reverend Dr. LaVonne Shaw, aka the Erogenous Coach. Hello. So glad to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you. So glad to be here with your beautiful spirit, your beautiful soul. And I absolutely love your energy. I was following you before you reached out to me. And I just I cannot explain the joy that I had in my spirit when you sent me that DM message. I was like, there, just there. Sorry I couldn't do it sooner, but there. And honey, look, you talk about sex on the beach. You know what I'm trying to do? Bring that Sex on the Beach conference to you, to your location. Let's have it
Yes,
there.
let's do it here. Yes, in Brazil.
Where- In Brazil, wherever there's water, I'm there. It's water
Yes,
so healing.
yes, there's tons of water here. It's healing. Guys, if that sounds good to you, look, we haven't even got it started. But if you're trying to have some sex on the beach in Brazil, let us
Hunty,
know. Holla.
yes,
Holla.
yes, join us. Because look, as long as she and I are there, we're good.
Yes, we good. We good. So speaking of water, Sex on the Beach, Brazil. It's not Sex on the Beach, but I am having my retreat, Sacred Goddess Imanja retreat, January 29th to February 5th in Bahia. We're going to be getting to know, connecting to the feminine goddess within us and celebrating and honoring the birthday of Imanja, who's the goddess of the ocean, who heals us, who cleanses us. So it's going to be great. We're going to jump into the Afro Brazilian spirit, learn about the history, the culture. We're going to go to um, a spiritual center here, get readings, get cleansings. We're going to do Afro-Brazilian dance, Afro-Brazilian drumming, capoeira. We're going to walk naked on a beach.
Say it
We're going
again, capoeira. That sounds so sexy. Capoeira.
Yes, yes, capoeira. So it's going to be amazing. So let's go ahead and get started. So, um, I did already read your bio, and told a little bit about you, but share a little bit more. So you started, and I'm just so fascinated, and I love your story, how you started as a wedding consultant because you're consulting people for their wedding, right? Um, Hello, reigning
Yes.
woman. So nice to see you. It's been forever. I haven't seen you on here. How are you doing? Let me know. How are you? I miss you. So, and anyone else coming on, say hello. So you
Please do.
started as a wedding consultant, right? Now, as a wedding consultant, you're consulting people for their marriage so that they can get married. So how as a wedding consultant caterer do you realize people are having horrible sex, that people are needing more intimacy? Like, well, tell me what's going on. What happens? What like
Well,
how?
it was a full range circle. We encompassed everything in the business, the unique weddings. Remember, at the time, my logo was a unicorn. Everything was unique. I would sit down and I would try and make your dreams come true. And of course, part of the package was the bridal shower. So my main clients were women of the church. So the bridal showers were sometimes very boring, very boring.
Mhm.
But I figured out they were boring because they didn't know. And I really figured out their parents didn't know. So you can't teach your child what you don't know. So
Right, right.
that was missing. So I knew enough. My parents were open enough to take me down. We live in Washington D.C. area, so there used to be a store called oh, went right out of my head. But it was downtown Georgetown. So I would go to Treasure Palace. Well, don't worry about it.
Mm,
It's in Georgetown. So I'll go in there and I would get the toys and whatnot and bring them to the parties to help bring some life to the parties. Then I had to start educating them how to use the toys because they didn't know. And later on, what happened, the brides or the grooms would call me and say, I'm a virgin. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to start, where to begin. And one bride I wrote about in the book, Sex Between the Sheets, Who Got Allowed, on their honeymoon, she called me from the beautiful, beautiful master bathroom on the floor
mhm.
crying. And she said, I'm a virgin. I don't know what to do. And I said, well, I know your partner. I know your husband. And he's very tender, very giving, and he won't force you to do anything you don't want to do. So if you could just ask him to hold you tonight and to promise that you're going to rock his world tomorrow, and call me, get up early and call me, and I'll tell you what to do. And it
Mhm.
went from there. So one bride to another bride, sit down, couples were talking. Sometimes I would do the husband, sometimes I would do the wives, sometimes I would do both together. I can be in a room with 10,000 people and maybe 20% I've coached one of their partners. But the biggest thing about it was everything was confidential. I would
Mhm.
see you out in public and your friends wouldn't know that you're a client of mine unless you told them.
Right.
So even in my book, I got permission to tell the story, but I changed their names because a lot of people, especially in the
Mhm.
church, won't come to you because you make their business open, public, and they're too embarrassed to
Mhm.
say they have an issue.
Right. Right.
But I have a couple, a few that are saying one time or another we were in separate bedrooms, but we're together now. We're in the same bedroom. Um, One couple, they what did she say? The young lady came to me when she was single, and we prayed that not that her sexual desire would be taken away, because I don't. That's a gift. That's a beautiful gift, and you don't want that taken away. But calm it down, just calm it down, because she
Yes.
wanted to wait till she got married.
Mhm.
So when she got married, she called me and she said, I can't believe it. I don't want to have sex. I said, oh, that's the devil. So
Right.
I said, what we need to do is dig up the old seeds, till the soil, and plant some new seeds.
Mhm.
So let me tell you, she has 2 children and very happy and just enjoying life. But you have to realize for the generations, because one person talked, I was on someone's show, and they were like, well, why didn't they just use Google? And I said, at the time, Google wasn't around when I started. Google wasn't out there for the search. So you need to know or have someone of confidence that you can talk to and who is willing to explain the truth to you. So with the challenge of that, that's how I got started as being the erogenous coach. And again, the referrals from one bride to another bride, a couple to a couple. I think some of my success stories, I got invited to a church for a women's fellowship, and two things happened. They pulled me to the side, and they were hemming and hawing. So you have wisdom and you have intuition. So I got tickled. I said, you don't want me to pull out dildos, right? And oh my God, yes. I mean, she couldn't even say it right. So I didn't want to embarrass her or make her uncomfortable. I said, well, okay, I won't pull out dildos, but I have them. I will pull out a bullet. A bullet is real small and
I love those
yeah, love those bullets. And I said, so I could do the bullet. And she said, okay. I walked into this room thinking it'd be just a couple of ladies. When I say it was 250 ladies in the
Wow.
room.
Wow.
And I pray for women every day because even with the things that are happening on your phones, on the internet now, there's still women who are scared to release, scared to enjoy, scared to just open their mouths and say, give it to me, or I want it this way. And they're still scared because they're still coming to me. But that night, a woman stood up and she said, my husband made me come to this event. I didn't want to come, but I am so happy to go home and show him everything I learned today. And it's women like that, one person, that lets me know I'm on the right track. I'm doing what I'm called to do. I love what I get to do. Whew, wow. I've
Yeah.
had husbands come to me and say, I have a whole new wife in my bedroom.
Wow. Beautiful.
Hey, yes.
Look, I want to come to you. I want to come to you. Can you do some work with me? So,
Indeed.
this is so inspirational. Like, I love what you're saying. I love hearing these stories. It's so important. And it's so important for people to hear, to know that you're not alone, because there are so many people who still don't know. There's so many people who have questions, who don't know what they're doing. I do. So my business is a little different. I do tantric massage, and I've had so many clients that come to me, so many women with tantric massage who've never had an orgasm at like 50 years old, 40 years old, never had an orgasm. They don't know their anatomy. They don't know the clitoris. They're still calling their vulva vagina. Like, there's so much that we're just not taught. And like you said, like, a lot of times parents don't know, so they're not teaching. The schools aren't teaching. The sex education that we have in school doesn't teach this stuff, the necessary stuff. It's just all built on
The
fear.
church doesn't teach it.
And the church doesn't either. Like, in the church, they do premarital counseling, but that should be included, especially if in the church you want people to be a virgin when they marry. Like, teach them something, like give them something to be prepared. And so it's just not happening. It's just not happening. And I've talked to so many women who they allow the pleasure to be they allow that their pleasure be dictated by their partner, as opposed to from them first and foremost. And we have to be able to pleasure ourselves. We have to know what feels good. We, first and foremost, have to do the work on ourselves so that we can open up and allow someone else to do this work. And so these conversations are so needed. So let me ask you. So, because this wasn't your job, you were just doing the work, the wedding consultant, the bridal showers, all of this stuff. So, how did you know what to do? How did you know how to rock people's world or rock your husband's world at that time? How did you know?
My mom, my parents, my mom is a scientist and my dad is a chemist. My dad has passed on, but we had conversations at the table. My mom taught me taught junior high school. So she brought a lot of young ladies home, and they would sit and have conversations, and I would sit there and listen. My parents taught me that I could ask anything. As long as I ask nicely,
Mhm.
I can ask them anything. I was a person in church, when you wanted to know something, you write a note, give it to me. I'll read it. I would take the butt of it. Why you want to know that? Because I could clearly hear one counselor said, "Why buy the cow when you get the milk free?" You know that, and I was sitting there like, "That's about sex. You telling me about cows? I don't know what you're talking about,
Right.
right?"
Right.
But I was real. My parents were real free in that area.
Mhm. And some people want
So
cows.
some people walk out,
I would buy a cow if I
and
had
so
the
one
space.
time. So I mean, with that, we would talk and we get answers, and I could still teach, and I wasn't even sexually active, but I knew. And I'll tell you this story. Oh my God, to this day I love it. Um, and I was always thick and curvy. So a lot of people would
Mhm.
shun down on me because I was thick and curvy. I didn't have boyfriends. I had lots of boyfriends. Still get hit on,
Mhm.
men and women now. So it's amazing. But
Right.
it's the confidence and the energy of who I
Confidence.
was. 'Cause while my
Mhm.
mother was 36, 24, 36, I might have been 36, 36, and 36. But
Mhm.
still, I knew
Right.
who I was. And
Mhm.
I had my first kiss. No, it wasn't my first kiss. Well, I kissed this gentleman that I really loved in high school. And I kissed him so well that he ejaculated on himself. And he was so embarrassed. He jumped up and he's like, "I'll be right back." And so he left. He went home to change his clothes and came back. But while he was gone, I was like, the power of the tongue, the power
Yes.
of just a
Girl, what you
kiss.
do? Can you show me right now? Show what you do with your tongue? Like, show us.
Girl, let me tell you, a lot of people don't do this. When you kiss, rub your tongue across the teeth, up in the gum areas. Because, see, that's untouched territory in some partners. They've never been touched with the tongue by someone else. And
Ooh, I'm gonna
he
do that.
was just, child, yes, yes, hunty, that tongue kissing is tongue kissing good.
Yes. Girl, I'm about to buy your book. I'm about to learn some stuff. Listen, y'all, listen. Listen. Yes, I'm a tantrika. I'm a sex goddess, but there's still a lot to learn, and I am open to
It's
learning. Okay? Yes. So
And
I just
so
learned
am I.
something
So,
right now. Okay? All right.
but the power, can you imagine making a man ejaculate just from kissing? Just from
I
kissing.
can't.
So you have that power if you harness it and just bring it in. It's just positive energy, and you don't have to feel guilty about having sex. And you can have, if you have it done completely correctly, talked to, and it's just the energy in the room, you can have an orgasm without even being touched, just the
Oh yeah. Yeah.
talking
That I
and
hear.
the body. Yes, yes.
Mhm. Yeah.
So, but women haven't because they're not free. I like how you put in the flyer. It's the mental
Mhm.
blocks. You're so busy checking the house, going over, did you do this? That you're not present. You're not in the room. You're not in the bed. You're not in the car. I don't care where you're having intimacy time
Mhm.
at all. You're not there,
Right.
and you can't enjoy it if you're
Mhm.
not there.
Right.
You
Right.
know,
And you can't have orgasms if you're not there.
you cannot. You cannot.
Mhm.
And you are doing yourself a disservice because the orgasm releases the endorphins and the pheromones and just everything just free and running, and you think differently, you feel
Yeah.
differently, you smell differently, because you
Well,
have
you
that
know what?
running
Let
through.
me can I intervene because I just have to. Look, I'm about to be in
Yes.
DC. I'm about to be in DC October. Should we do something
Okay.
together? The
Yes.
week of October
Yes.
8th. Let's do something together.
Tell
Let's
me the
do
dates,
something.
tell me the dates. We look up the dates because I know I have to do something in Bethany, and I have to do something in Arizona. But let me know the
Okay,
dates, and I will
we
make
can
sure.
talk about this. I'll be there from October 1st. Well, before October 1st, end of September to like October 10th or something or 11th.
I think so.
So
I think so. I think I'm good. I think I'm good because
Let's
I
do
don't think I have
something
to
for
go through.
women. Let's do something for women, or even
Yes.
or just women, just women. I don't know. We'll fill it out. Okay, we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna do something. I feel it
Girl,
right
yes.
now. It's gonna be juicy. It's gonna be juicy. Oh, listen, y'all keep in touch. Listen, if y'all are not following Dr. LaVonne Shaw, what's your type your Instagram in the private chat so I can share that so people can follow you. If you're not following her on Instagram, y'all need to follow her, okay? And if you're not following me, you need to follow me too. I'm at Prandhara Prem underscore Tantra. Okay, so um, follow us and keep up so that you can know when we're gonna have this. So my IG Prandhara Prem underscore Tantra right there. And let me go ahead and add hers at the Erogenous Coach. So
So mine is
um,
Instagram and TikTok.
is the same.
Yes.
Yeah, so her Instagram and TikTok is the same, the underscore Erogenous Coach LLC. Follow both of us because then you can hear when we're gonna do this workshop, and it's gonna be in DC. And if you're not living in DC, you better come to DC because it's gonna be good. Don't you feel this energy right here? This is gonna be
It's
good.
airports all around.
Exactly. So get
Yeah.
ready. Get ready. If you got to fly into DC, save that money, honey. Save it. The week of maybe the second weekend of October, because the first weekend I'm gonna be in a wedding. October 1st is a wedding. So the
Okay.
weekend of the 8th, 9th, let's do something. All right. So keeping it going. Sorry, I interrupted you. But
It's all good.
I love that you were saying that your parents was open, you were able to ask questions, they talked to you, because a lot of people don't get that. And the other thing that you mentioned that was so crucial, so important, is that you said, you would get slack or whatever because you weren't curvaceous, you weren't small. You said you were like 36, 36, 36, but you said it was a confidence, right? And so that's the thing. That's what
Mhm.
makes us beautiful. Society is like, you got to look this way, your hair has to be this way. Um, and that's all BS. All BS, right? Like, what's
It
important is
is.
what's
It is.
inside. And your parents did a great job by answering your questions, really talking to you, helping to build that self-esteem and that self-confidence. And this is why it's also important when, especially as girls, to be able to masturbate, because that also builds your confidence in what feels good, what you like, knowing your body, so that when you're into a relationship, you feel confident knowing that is going to be good. You know how to enjoy yourself. Half the times I say, my friends would be like, I'll be telling my friends my sex stories, and my one friend was like, you always have a great sex. Like, listen, I was like, because it's me. Like, it doesn't have much to do with the guy. Sorry, man. But I mean, and it does, but it doesn't. Like, it's because I know my body and I'm very
But it's knowing your body. Knowing your body.
no, yes. So I know my body and I'm okay with expressing what I need, expressing what feels good, right? Also,
Right.
speaking of expressing, it's important. Our vocal cords is connected to the vulva, right? And so for so long, we've been taught to be quiet, be hush hush, don't make any noise, don't make any sounds, and that's harmful, and even I used to go to the gynecologist, and I would have some painful Pap smears. I didn't know what to do. I would just be cringing. And once I started studying tantra and sexuality, and I learned the mouth is connected to the vagina, I would just breathe and open my mouth, and my vagina would open, and it would be so much
Open.
easier. Now Pap smears aren't doesn't hurt. They're not painful. Um, when I'm in the bed, I make noise. And I've had guys sometimes be like, "Oh my God, you're making too much noise." If I'm making too much noise, then and you worried about what the neighbors are gonna say, we can't do this no more because I'm gonna make noise. And if I
Wait, wait,
don't,
wait.
trifling.
Wait, because I don't want you to go too far because I'll lose my thought, get excited about something
Okay.
else. So let's start with masturbate. So I was
Okay.
teaching at a conference, and okay, so I am an ordained pastor, licensed and ordained pastor. So I'm teaching at this
Okay.
conference, and I see these deep women of God, these holy rollers, right, sitting right in the center. So I said, well, what I'm about to say, I know you're gonna come back with some scriptures. and I'm ready. So I
Mhm.
searched the Bible. When I wrote my book, I searched the Bible front, back, Genesis, Revelations. My husband was a pastor. My husband was wonderful theologist, and we studied and studied and studied. There is not a law that says do not masturbate in the Bible.
Mhm.
God was
Right.
clear. He said, do not kill, do not steal, do not cheat, don't do this. He did not say do not masturbate.
Right.
There is a story in the Old Testament
Mhm.
when the man spilled his seed on the ground as he protests that he did not want to sleep with his brother's wife. Under the
Mhm.
Mosaic law, they needed to keep the seed going. And
Right.
he did not like her or whatever reason. And in protest, he spilled the seed. That's all he did. He did not,
Mhm.
God did not say, Jesus did not say, the Holy Ghost didn't say, King James, New NIV, the Message
Mhm.
Bible does not say, do not masturbate. You need to know what you like before you
Right.
can tell somebody else. How do you
Right.
know? And the church
Right.
is so good to tell you, don't masturbate, don't masturbate. And you sit up there lost and confused. Then you hear that the pastor and slept with somebody else's wife. So you got stuff going on because she's free in her sexuality and you're attracted to that. You got your
Mhm.
wife in this box and you constantly say she lays there like a dead fish because she doesn't open her mouth, not for a blowjob, but just to say, ah, oh, that feels so
Mhm.
good.
Right.
She's embarrassed to say it feels good. Sex is good.
Yes, it feels good.
They get mad at me, but it's the truth. God created sex. He created it to be great. He created it to be frequent, and He created it to be enjoyed.
Yes.
The part
That's
of the
why you have a vagina and a penis, or that's why you have an anus hole. I mean, because there's men, right?
right,
So you have these things, and the clitoris
the
is
clitoris.
only job is for pleasure. So how
That
could we have been created to enjoy sex and have pleasure if the
it has
clitoris has no
nothing to
other
do.
function?
It has nothing to do with procreation. Nothing.
Right.
And when I started preaching that, and they looked at me, I said, the God I serve is so detailed and so beautiful that He created the clitoris over 8,000 nerve endings. Why do
Yes.
you need over 8,000 nerve endings? To overstimulate you, to get you excited, to release those endorphins that are only released when you have an orgasm because
Hmm.
it takes you to a wonderful place of joy.
Yes.
And He wants you there. He wants you there more
Yes.
than He wants you sad. But
Yes.
we're blocking our blessings because we're using sex as a punishment. We're using sex as a reward. You don't reward them often enough,
Yes.
and you just put yourself in this box, and you
Hmm.
shouldn't.
Yes. I'm about to share this. Keep talking. I got to share this because this is so good.
It
Go ahead. I'm
sex,
sharing this.
sex, intimacy, passion, romance. It was created to be enjoyed, not to be put on a box, not for just birthdays, not just for anniversaries, not because the moon is red, but you can have sex every night if you want to. If you want to. And look, you need an excuse, you burn over 720 calories each session.
Yes.
So if that ain't an energy enough for you, but it's a form of worship when you connect. And this is what happens. Literally, the two, you and your partner become one.
Hmm.
And I was sharing with Renee earlier that in my butterfly, the body of the butterfly is the man and the woman coming together. And they're intertwined so that you only see the wings, but you have to look at it to see the butterfly, the man and the woman in the body. But that's the two becoming one. One of the titles or the hashtags I used to use, and I'm gonna start again. It's called marital enrichment.
Mm.
Enrich your marriage by connecting. Connect more often with giving yourselves to each other. If you don't go to bed angry, because what if that person doesn't wake up? And I'm not saying you have
Mhm.
to have intercourse all the time, but honey, you should have it as often as you can.
Yes. 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 Hi, Alexis. Thank you for saying that you're loving this conversation. Yes, it's so good. Guys, go ahead and share this too. Like,
Please.
Come on, Dr. LaVonne. Come on, start sharing real quick in your messenger and stuff like that while we're going, because people need
Okay,
to hear
okay.
this. And share this because people can catch the replay as well. Oh my God, this is so good, so good, so good, so good.
Most
Um,
definitely.
yeah, wow. You know, and I just lost what I was about to say because I interrupted with saying to share this. But you were saying, yes, sex every day is good. And and I want to expand on that because you said sex or intercourse, but you said intercourse.
Intimacy.
Oh,
Intimacy. Intimacy.
because
Because we
that's
really
that's what I wanted to get at. Like intimacy is important every day. And when we say have sex every day, a lot of time people hear sex or intercourse and you just think penis and vagina or whatever, right? Penetration. But there's so many different ways of having sex, right? And
right,
so I really don't like the word foreplay because foreplay it just gives that meaning that everything that you do prior to penetration is not sex, and that's all sex, right? And so
right,
sometimes you may not need or want to be penetrated. Sometimes you just want eye gaze. Sometimes you
right,
just want to be caressed and cuddled. And so I get so many women who are their partners, specifically men in these heterosexual relationships I'm relating to, referring to right now. I get these women who come to me and say their husband only touched them when they want to have sex. And so
mhm,
now, whenever the husband touched them, they don't really want to have sex. Like their husband is not touching them to touch. The husband is not touching them for connection. The husband is not touching them for
right,
intimacy. So a lot of times I have to teach couples, men and these heterosexual couples, how to be intimate, how to connect to your wife or girlfriend, you
right,
know, we because we are in a patriarchal society, right? And
right,
so we're in a male based, the whole sex and everything is male based, right?
right,
For men's pleasure, right? That's what we've learned. So even as women, we have not learned to put our needs first, to know to that it's okay to understand what we enjoy, that it's okay to have pleasure. You know, like you were talking about procreation, they talk about in the church is only for procreation. No, it's for
yeah,
pleasure. Let's say the average person, I don't know, maybe the average person has sex, what, 3,000 times in their lifetime? Maybe more, maybe less. I'm just saying average. I don't know. Um, and you have what? Maybe you have two kids. So what's happening all those other times? Like it's
daddy,
not
practice, practice.
procreation.
But listen, seriously, my second book is called The Marriage Bed Revival. And I
Mhm,
normally advertise it as 21 consecutive days of intimacy, no penetration required. And that's
mhm,
how we push the book. And they like, what do you mean no penetration required? That's not the goal. We want you to be intimate. We want you to touch. We want you to hold hands while you're driving a car, hold
yeah,
hands while you're walking down the driveway, or to when you're going for a walk. Just connect. Hold hands when you're walking in Target. Just
right,
connect. Be there. You don't always have to have the TV on. You don't always have to be on your phone, but we want you to connect and be present with your partner. Be there. It's so important. Originally, I wanted 100 days. And Mike was alive when I wrote this book, and he was like, "Look here, we're not doing this 100 consecutive days." He said, "You're gonna kill me," right? So I said, "Okay, 50." And he was like, "We're not gonna get people to participate 50 days." I said, "Okay,
right,
this is where I got you. It takes 21 days to make a new habit. I just
yeah,
need 21 consecutive days of intimacy, no penetration required, to be there for your spouse, to be present for your spouse." And
mhm,
Mike and I was taking care of my dad who had Alzheimer's, who's passed on, and he was taking care of his mother who had congestive heart failure, who has passed on. So while the contest was going, we literally had to be mindful of dating during the contest, the
mhm,
challenge, because when we issue a challenge, we participate. One
right.
of the couples that won, the guy was 75,
75.
75. He was 75, and the wife
Wow.
was 70. They connected
Mhm.
every day. And he laughed. He's like, it was just like dating my wife all over again.
Wow.
And that's all we really want you to do. Love each other. Oh, all over again. I had to really push it during the beginning of the pandemic because what happened, Renee, a lot of couples will work, after school activities, church, just golfing,
Mm-hmm.
doing whatever. And we were forced to be in our house. And this person was a stranger. And you
Mm-hmm.
did
Right.
they were calling me. I don't love this person anymore. I don't know who this is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I need you to date this person again. I
Yes.
need you to not just fall in love, because when you fall, you hurt. I
Mm-hmm.
need you to just love who they are, because they're not that 21, 25-year-old person you married. This person is now 30, 40, or 50, or
Mm-hmm.
60. They've evolved, they have changed, they have new likes and new dislikes. Get to know that person.
Yes.
I had a couple people who divorced, but I had a whole lot of people that came back together during the beginning of the pandemic. And it was rough. It was rough.
Mm-hmm.
So, but again, telling them and teaching them and coaching them how to be intimate without penetration took a lot of weight off the table for them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes.
It was something else you said. Wasn't masturbation, because we got that one.
Yeah.
Was it the
While you think,
intimacy?
if anybody's on here and you have any questions, feel free to ask. If you're resonating with anything, let us know. Say type hashtag resonate. Yeah, let us know. Let us know if there's something that doesn't make sense you want us to go further on and expand on. Let us know. I
And
love to be interactive. Mhm.
I keep my passport in my purse. We're always ready to go. I have global entry, so I won't have to go through customs long. So I'll go wherever Renee and I would like to travel.
Yes, yes, yes. Yes, let's do a between the sheets tour.
Yes,
We'll have to
yes.
come up with a new name since I'm not part of that book. But listen, guys, I'm speaking of the book. Buy her book. Buy one of those books. Or buy both. Sex Between Our Sheets, What God Allows, or The Marriage Bed Revival. Those are really good.
Revival.
Yes.
We got a
We're
new
gonna
one
find you.
coming. That's what all the pictures were about. When everybody was texting me. I was doing pictures for the new
Oh,
cover of my new book that I wrote
mhm.
during the pandemic. It's called "Honey, Can We Try This?" I can't wait
Oh,
for that one to come
oh, that's
out.
the one with that
So,
sexy man looking like a hot snack. Everybody was texting you, huh? He was looking like a hot
honey,
snack. Mm.
honey, he wasn't no snack. He was a meal. But yes, honey, they were blowing up my phone, my mother's phone. They were just my daughter's phone. They were like, "Who did you?" I was like, "Look at here, y'all know me. Y'all know I love to celebrate life. I wouldn't just
Yeah,
elope on y'all."
right. I messaged you. I thought I was like, oh wait, what just happened? I knew I just met you. Like, mm.
Oh, it was a wonderful time, and actually, I think we're going to collaborate on some more things because it was a wonderful
Oh, I can
experience.
imagine. I bet.
And
But you're gonna
yes,
do so
so
great. Guys, listen real quick. Wait. Before I say what I'm gonna say, real quick. Buy her book. Let me finish that. Sex Between Our Sheets, What God Allows, or Marriage Bed Revival. Can they buy that on Amazon?
they can buy the first one on Amazon or go to the website, theerogenous and buy either or.
Okay, type your website, please, and I can put that in there. So you can go
Okay.
to her website, check out her website. We already gave her Instagram. That's her Instagram. Check it out. Check out those books. Also, while we're in buying books, check out my journal, Sacred Goddess Awakening Journal. It is a journal where I go through different exercises so that you can really work on that sexual energy. Hey Renee, welcome, welcome, welcome. Listen, Renee, thank you for coming on. This has been so good. You definitely got to watch that replay. You got to watch this replay. It has been so good, this conversation. Okay. Um, Dr. LaVonne Shaw is just amazing, just so much information. And let me tell you, I love your energy. When I went to the DC area, we didn't even know each other. I told you I'm going to be doing an event at the shooting range, and you came and loved it. Yeah, we were shooting away. So, yes, yes, yes. So, let's keep it going. um,
Well, that's what you need to do. Keep it going with your partner. Keep it going. But you, again, I need you to know yourself. And one class that I'm in the process of opening up a school, and I am a certified film dominatrix.
Mm.
And I went to the class because I had so many couples who wanted to play, and I needed to be able to teach them how to play safely.
Mm-hmm.
When I tell you, oh my God, when I tell you, I already thought I knew some things. I knew some things, but
Right.
I'm always open to learn more. And in the kind of back of my head, I was like, so there are different levels of dominatrix,
Mm-hmm.
but it's really about harnessing the power within. And I could already pop my whip, but to really pop my whip, and for me as a woman of color, I sat in my class 3 months and I didn't say anything. I just watched and observed. And in that element of life, they will use the word slave. And I didn't like that word.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know you could get it sort of go, oh, child, when the school's open, come on down. I'm going to hook you up.
I know. I'm like,
So I
I
could
was thinking
definitely,
the same thing, Renee. I was like, ooh, I might have to get a certification of that because also there's professional doms, right, who actually make money. I don't know if you do or not, but you can make
I,
money being a
so I'm
professional
going to
dom.
teach. Yes, you could be a
Could you
professional
teach that?
drama. Like, I'm going to teach. I'm going to teach. I'm going to teach and certify you to be professional or a lifestyle dom. I'll teach you, and you can just do whichever one you want to.
I want to
So
do
that's
that. I want to do that course. I'm
I'm gonna set it
serious.
all up. I'm serious too. I'm gonna set it all up for you, and I'm actually working on the building now. We're structuring it out so I can have different rooms for different sessions, and then once that's set, we're going straight for it for that. I'm loving every bit of it. So of course, you have a name. So my name is Queen Lexi, and
Mm-hmm.
with Queen Lexi, I, I just I felt the regalness of who I was in the name being queen. So I did not feel comfortable calling the gentlemen slaves. So
Right.
I talked to somebody and I was talking it out. And they said, well, you're a queen anyway, so you don't have a problem having a servant. I was like, oh
Mm-hmm.
no. So I could call them servant and I could do it. So I talked to my teacher, I explained to her my situation. She never ever thought about it. So she actually went to the subs and asked them, did they have issues about being called a slave? And several of them did, but they never said anything because she was the dog. And so
Right.
then we started calling them subs as a submission.
Yes.
When I tell you I went out in person to get my certification, and this gentleman who was just beautifully tall and dropped to his knees when he saw me. And I have a gentleman who travels with me. He's my security. And he laughed. He said, what did you do? I said, we
Mhm.
were on the internet. I couldn't have done much. So, but it's the power of control, the controlling of your voice, the controlling of
Right.
your speech, the controlling of your words, the intentional pausing that you can also interject this into your marriage and role play. When we're talking about, you said you didn't like foreplay. The word foreplay, I got it. But you know what I fell in love with?
Mhm.
They are very big on aftercare in
Yes.
dominant work. That is so needed to check
So
in with
needed.
your partner instead of just
Mhm.
rolling over and snoring and going to sleep. Are you okay? Did you enjoy? Is there any way I can make that better for you? Did you enjoy the experience? Would you like to do this outside next time? Would you like to go to a hotel? Would you like to be on top next time? There's so many things that you can do to incorporate that into your lovemaking to the point where I fell in love with it. And now I'm going to be a professional, but I'm going to teach how to be a professional. And
Yeah.
had the blessing of my teacher. Of course, I was the only woman of color. And it was so eye-opening.
Yes.
And you teach when I finally spoke after 3 months, my teacher was like, well, she thought I was nervous, and I was, but I did the first session. They were like, ASMR, oh my God. She gonna make me want to be a sub in a minute. And it was just how you do it, what you do
Yes,
and how
how
you
you do it. And it's so interesting because I've got into, I've fooled around with BDSM, kink, and all of that. I'm actually a switch, but I'm more dom than anything else. So
Mhm.
my dominant is dom, and I can be a switch. And there are times I tell you, if a man could put me in that naturally in that sub position, I'm all his. I surrender. I'm in love. But because I'm naturally dominant, I tend to be more dominant just in general in relationships. And so I tend to find men who are more submissive. I tend to date very feminine men, and I'm very masculine myself. Um, but then I lose interest. But anyway, because I want that person that could dominate me, like, the
Right.
back of my mind, like subconsciously. It's so weird, but that's what it is. That's who I am. So it's interesting because once I started learning more about these things, like the aftercare, the BDSM, the kink world, all of this, they have so many rules in place for safety, to consent. You have way more communication. And I'm like, these are things that could be incorporated into traditional relationships that would help partners feel so much more safe and help people to be able to become vulnerable so that they can be more orgasmic. So, I definitely think it does you benefit to learn these different cultures, to learn about the Dom world, the sub world, BDSM, kink, all of that. Because even if you don't want to go into it and do that stuff, it gives you things that you can apply in your traditional relationship, even if you're vanilla or whatever. Yes, communication is important, Renee. Um, Now, I had answered Renee's question about didn't know if you had to have a certificate to be professional. I wrote you don't need one. It's an option for people who want to be have more confidence, that learn different skills and could do it. Because there's people who's never taken a course and they're
True.
professional with work with it. Yeah. So I just wanted to bring that up just in case you knew something different that might have changed. Um,
No, I
yeah.
don't know any business laws about it. It's a lot frowned upon, but I think if you have the proper training, because
Mhm.
you can go too far, if you
Yeah.
so engrossed into it, you don't hear the safe word, but you have to be present and still be directive in being a femdom. I've I went when I was taking a class, I went and experienced some other things just to see, and I can see the difference in the teaching. My
Mhm.
certification came from LA, so it was a whole different lifestyle than here in Baltimore.
Mhm.
So I was like, "Oh, no," because when I went and saw things going on, it was very degrading,
Yeah.
and that's not the goal of what I want you to experience. And
Yeah.
I don't want your partner to experience being degraded. I mean, if that's what they want, but that I don't think that's what they wanted. And I was like, "Oh, I see just a different way of being submissive."
Mhm. Yeah.
So
I had a slave once when I was in the DC area, and this was like what, 15 years ago, 16 years ago. And so at that time when we were doing it, that's what it was called, and never thought about asking, is this okay? Do you like that term? Would you
right,
prefer servant or sub? And I know there are different levels. There's differences between sub and slave, right? So even the levels are different.
right.
So Renee has another question, but but it was when I would degrade him, and that was my first and only slave. When I would degrade him, I felt so bad. Like I was like, I'm a psychotherapist. My job is to make people feel good, feel better. Like this was hard for me to say things to degrade him, but that's what he wanted and that's what he liked. So it was like, okay. But I later learned, both of you come up with what you both enjoy, what you both do. Because at that time, again, it was all new for me. I just thought this is how I had to be as a Dom. I had to degrade him. I had to do these things, you know.
But
And now,
it's what they like, what they want. I've met several couples where the husband is the CEO, but at home he's the servant, and she locks him up, put him in a cage, feeds him that way. But that's how they play.
yeah.
Each one is different. But he's
Hmm.
the CEO of this bomb millionaire, multi-millionaire company, but you would never know.
Yeah.
So it's what he needed to release this pressure because I guess because he's always taking care of everybody, he wanted someone to take
Mhm.
care of him.
Yeah.
And that's really what it is. And I
Mhm.
saw the question from Renee. My class, my certification took me 9 months. 9 months
Wow.
to get certified. And mines will probably take mine might even take a year because I want to incorporate I want the doms to understand what it is to be submissive.
That's
So
important. You have to be able to
right,
understand what
and a lot of
submissive.
them don't. Right, and then when Renee said that she's a switch, a lot of people don't know whether she'll go back and forth between both. So
Mhm.
I need in my class, I'm going to add on something, another part of the lesson, because I really want you all to understand what it is to be a sub, even though your certification will be that you're full professional or lifestyle. No,
Mhm. How much now?
femdom.
So how much can people make? How much can femdoms make working
Cha 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 cha. Honey, you can get up to $2,000 for toe worship for an hour.
for an
And toe
hour?
worship an hour, $2,000. And toe worship is just simply gazing at your toes, or oohing your toes, eyeing your
Mhm.
toes, even polishing your toes. What?
Right. Right. I love how we have
What?
guys on here too.
Yeah. So that's foot worship. There are different types of things they want to worship. So
Yeah.
it's all in what you do and how you market it. But I'll teach it all to you, and then you can go on with your certification, and boom, and it's a whole
Yes,
new
yes.
world.
Renee said, "Yeah, I heard of CEOs, politicians, people with a lot of power do it," and that's what I was going to say too. Yes, generally, people who have a lot of power, they're the ones who go into the sub role, right? My slave, he was a professional athlete, um, and like he's a professional athlete, and he wanted, to just be dominated.
Right.
So, and also, it's good to know that a lot of times, oh, I was just reading something, lost my track. I had to block a comment because it was inappropriate. um Basically, a lot of times, what was I about to say? Oh, a lot of times people think, if you're doing this stuff, even if it's professional, you have to have sex. And no, a lot of times it has nothing to do with sex. Like, people have these kinks, they have these things that they want, and they don't have, maybe they can't have their partner do it because their partner don't want to, or they're embarrassed to let their partner know that these things they're interested in. So you can do these things. You could be a professional dom and not have sex. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, because prostitution is the oldest religion. And I personally don't think that someone should police what we do with our bodies. If a woman wants to sell sex, she should be able to do that. If a man or woman wants to pay for sex, they should be able to do that. Like, and if a man wants to sell his body for sex, that's our bodies. We should be able to have agency over our bodies and do whatever we want, you know?
It's your body, it's your choice. And
Mhm,
what I say is, you see my name, Reverend Dr. LaVonne Shaw.
mhm,
So I'm a pastor. I was called to ministry first. Me teaching about sex, sex is a ministry, it's a form of worship. And we lose and forget about that because it wasn't taught. So it's my job, my assignment to teach it. And I gladly
mhm,
do my assignment. I do not go around having sex with thousands and thousands and thousands of men. It could, but I don't. So I had a gentleman that he's trying to debate, and I'm pretty good that I'm not going to go any further with him. But when I got certified as a dom, he was like, "Well, wait a minute." I said, "I'm not sleeping with the gentleman. I'm not sleeping with my clients.
mhm.
I'm giving them instructions. I'm giving them directives. They don't touch me unless I tell them to touch me. You
Mm,
know." So he was
mhm.
like, so
Like,
if you want to continue to see me, you need to be able to handle this because this
mhm.
is what I'm going to do.
Yes.
And so you have to have someone who's understanding and comfortable and know your boundaries and respect your boundaries and know about it. I'm so
Mhm. Yeah, so Alexis is interested. So Alexis, hit her up. If you're not
yeah,
following her, follow her. Go to her website. Again, follow so that you can get the information. Because I'm doing this too. I'm doing this. I want to start being a professional dom. But you know what? I have to say, the time flew by. We're gonna have to end because I got a class to do in 5 minutes. I'm
Okay,
taking
okay.
my conscious certification. This is so good. Like, I swear we could go on for 2 hours easily. Like, this hour felt like 10 minutes.
Yes,
There's
it did.
there's just still so much more that we can get into and talk about. Like, the energy has been great. I love your
Well,
energy.
let me know if you're not busy next Wednesday. I think I'm good. So just let me know. We'll do a part 2.
Yeah, let's do part two. Next Wednesday, I already have someone else lined up. The next two
Okay.
Wednesdays, I have someone else lined up. So in August, maybe mid-August,
Yes.
let's talk. Let's actually bring this to Instagram. So it doesn't have to be Wednesday. We could do Instagram. It could be like Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It could be over the weekend, any day. Let's do
Got
that.
it. Okay.
Um, Guys, if you love this show, please put right now love. Type in LOVE right now and let us know. Give it a thumbs up because this was really good. I don't even have to ask if you liked it, but go ahead and type, make me feel good, make us feel good, because it's all about feeling good and pleasure. We deserve to have pleasure. So help us to have pleasure too, and type in LOVE in the comments. And please share this with other people because this is so great. I already got a love. Yes, Alexis, thank you. Who else? Type in love, love for us. Let's share this energy because we're feeling good. Can I see some more loves? Can I see some more loves?
And
Please let
Alexa
us
just
see
hit me
some
up
love.
on Instagram.
Yes, hit her up. Thank you, Renee. Got a love. Where you at, Phil? Can we get some more loves? Can we? Who else is on here? I know other people are on here. Type love. Let us know that you are here, that you enjoyed this because this was so good. If you missed any of the beginning, watch the replay because there was so many good things in the beginning. We're gonna come back and do this again. Let's also set up our Instagram. Again, if you are not following her yet, go ahead and follow her. Let's see. Where did I put yeah, there you go. There's her
That's her
thing again.
website.
Phil, look at you being rebellious. I asked for love and you gave a kiss. I asked for love. Can you type in LOVE? I know you love you. I know you love me, Phil. I love you too. Um, and I'm sure that heart is love. So real quick, follow me on Instagram as well, Prandhara Prem _Tantra. I also want to share with you, I am starting a new community on Mighty Networks. It is called Sexual Healing, Sacred Sexual Healing Coven. Um, it is a free community to join, and I really just want to create a community. Sacred Sexual. Let me type this in here. Coven on and if you go to Mighty Networks, just put that in and find join it. I want to create a community where we're not being censored, where you guys can feel comfortable. I want to create a safe space where we can talk about sexuality, where we can talk about tantra, where we can talk about these things and receive the help that we need. Where there's other men, women, people who maybe are embarrassed to ask questions about their bodies. Maybe they just need to learn about better relationships. Actually, I'm going to put the website directly here so it's easier for you guys to find it. Let me do that. Connecting with other people where we can grow together in community. And just so go to this right here. I put it on YouTube. So just click on that site and you'll find me. Join me there. It's a great place. You can connect with some awesome people. Okay, so that is that, and I gotta go. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for being on here, Dr.
No
LaVonne.
problem.
It was great.
I love
And
you.
I love you too. All right. So I will see you again. We'll keep in touch and talk about doing some more stuff.
IG and the retreat.
Yes, yes, yes. And then when I'm in DC, retreat,
The
everything.
DC connection.
Bye. Yes. Love you. Bye.